Wednesday, you will do at home or at the class, and Thursday you submit. Okay. So today we have a pretty heavy slide, about 100 slide. So it may take today and tomorrow half day session. Then tomorrow half day will be discussion on unit 1. Okay, and I give you the assignment for unit 2. Okay, and brief you what to do. Right. So project cost control or project control theory. Okay. The learning outcome will be project success criteria and impact on management approaches, contemporary management technique like TQM and others, planning theory and practice including formulation methodology, and the people most involved and dependent on planning and its outcome, right? So let's start the ball rolling. Okay. Okay, positive approach. Managing the project briefing process and establishment of project aim and objective. Looking at conventional project success criteria relating to time, cost, and quality. So PM delivering a project on a sustainable fashion. All right. And also, the project management team will control the emergent design is a process that is central to effective management. All right. PM are responsible for financial evaluation of the project in terms of its anticipated cost. So anticipate overall project budget can be central to the economic and financial assessment and the viability of the potential project. Okay. So you can see that I just read on that later, I will explain. Okay, PM need to make explicit their client expectation. Conventional measure used to measure project performance, time, cost, and quality. Increasingly, clients are now being required by registration to consider sustainability of their project. Sustainability is a loose and vague term that can be interpreted in many ways. All right. So you can see that all these things we will discuss as I go along. Okay. Let's look at the whole approaches. All right. So when managing a project, okay, what is said here is you must know the project management system. You must be proactive in the way that you look at cost, look at time, and look at the quality to meet the company objective or your client expectation. So planning a project, okay, involve many things. All right. So one of the things is control. How you control the project will determine the outcome of the project quality, time, and cost. Okay. So on top of that, they are talking about nowadays in Singapore or everywhere in the world, they're talking about sustainability. You talk about sustainability is talk about maximize the material use with little wastage. Okay. And maximize the construction. Let's say this is a project construction job. Okay. Okay. The construction of the column, the wall, the floor, all this construction must be optimized in a way to calculate, okay, the rebar, the iron put inside the wall, the beam, etc. So all these things you have to do a very good so-called optimization in terms of material usage. Then that is sustainability. All right. Okay. So design, we always depend on the latest software. So, like for example, BIM, right? You're using BIM to design, to construct, to create the 3D dimension, to look at the building, how it constructed, etc. Okay, you are using this one. So by looking at this one, you can anticipate what are the costs that you're going to build actually. Okay, estimated the cost. So you are mentally prepared for it. Okay, and end of the day, when you evaluate the whole thing, then you say that, okay, financially, where do I stand when I take this project? What is the profit margin? What is my expenses? So these are all the assessment and viability of the project. Okay. So you can see that beside your internal system, you have to consider the external system. That means your client expectation, the client that give you the project, what they expect you to do. On top of that, you have to consider another one not related, your client, not related to client, in the public. Say you construct a building near the residential area. What do you expect from the public to comment? And a complaint to the government will take action and you stop the work, which is you don't want to expect that to happen. Okay. All these things, as a project management team, you have to consider carefully, right? So in terms of that, you have to set up the measurement, the performance standard, the complaint standard. How many complaints do you have? How many times work have to be stopped because of public complaint? All right. And the quality assurance check. Who check the quality? Okay, every time you construct already finished certain section of the project, you ask the quality assurance to check. Right. And this quality assurance follow the specification. How far do you move away from the technical specification or near to the specification or on time, on target, the performance standard? Right. So all these things you have to take into consideration to allow, okay, your project to be viable, make money, to be optimization. That means use the manpower at the correct time and the correct material. Okay. Third thing is payment must be right in order to maintain the company cash flow, company payout to the supplier or raw material, all these things. So you have to collect the money and pay to the supplier, right? So you can see all these things come into play when you run a project. How are you going to control it, right? We will discuss more in detail as we go along. So essentially, when you run a project in Singapore, in India, in Bangladesh, or in Europe, it's almost the same as what you've done in Singapore. Okay, theoretically, it's about the same, right? So how you want to plan the work is up to the individual project director or project manager, right? So in terms of success criteria, as we have spoken, or rather many times you come to know that the success criteria is your schedule, the time, okay, the costs, and the quality standard. Okay, these three things we call it in project management, we call it triple constraint. Okay, any other thing delay, you will lose the job. You will incur higher costs, right? So today we're talking about, first one is the time. Okay, the management of time to organize and deliver a client project. So it's ready for commissioning and occupation, right? So what they say that is when you get a project, the client give you the project. That means you take over the project. Okay, you look in at the tender document. what should you do, what should you plan, and everything. So you form a project team, and all the team member will discuss how to go about doing the mobilization or pre-construction stage. After that, do the construction stage. Okay, that means to say pre-construction is demobilization. Mobilization, that means your equipment, your material all come to site, and from there you start construction. And the construction phase involve multiple people, subcontractors, right? Or machine, crane, etc. We're talking about this stage is called about construction project. I don't talk about facility or talk about other thing. Okay. So this is very important. You must know how to plan. Okay. Your planning involves creation of master plan so that you have a guide to follow. So the people involved, as it stated here, appointment of design team, okay, and the planning permission. That means planning could be on regulation, building control division. We will advise you when to start the work, how to start, where is the concern, the delivery engage of the emergent design. That means after you work with the architect, with the designer, you come up with the design, you seek the owner agreement. Once you agree, then you can break down the work. Okay, let's talk about that later. So a PM managing time will establish the key and milestone date. All right. So you must be aware when you start the time from today and 6 months later, you must finish the whole building. How are you going to plan this work? This is very important to run the project, right? So typically you may include all these things: the date of contract, documentation, site procession, practical completion, defect liability. That means to say after construction, you hand over, the owner check the building and any defect, building crack, electrical power not running properly, the wiring short circuit, all these things. These are all defect liability. So you have a 1 year defect liability where you repair and redo everything to the final specification of the drawing. Okay. So after defect finish, complete, then you hand over to the client. Okay. Then the client will apply for TOP. TOP is the temporary operating permit. Okay. In Singapore, we practice TOP or CSC. CSC is the first one, certified or satisfactory completion. Next one will be TOP, temporary occupation permit. Okay. With these two licenses given to the building, then the people can move in and stay. Without these two licenses, no way you can stay, because this is under Singapore Building Control Division Directive. Okay, take note. Okay, having done all the planning, the schedule, the master schedule, all these things you've done already. So the next step to do is what? After you run the schedule, everything, you calculate the time, or rather the cost. You know the time, it takes 6 months, then how many manpower you need. This one will include your cost. Direct cost, indirect cost, direct material, variances, all these things have to be computed by your project director, project manager, and project engineer. So they will do all the calculation and come up with a near to as accurate as you can, based on the quantity surveyor input, based on past experience of the project input. All right. From there, you can estimate the cost of the whole project. Right. So when you tender the job, you got the job, you have the money already, the budget is there. Let's say 1 million. Right. So you plan to make profit about 20%. Okay. So based on 20%, that means your expenses for the whole project is only 800,000. Right? So how do you spend the 800,000? You must evenly spread throughout the whole process. So your project progress is very important. That means your progress plus the money must go in parallel. Okay? Don't the project go very far, then your money already overshoot. Then you have a deficit. Okay? You must think of the way to do it. Okay, same as you are in Singapore, every month your parent give you maybe $1,000. Right? You pay the rent, say 500 or 400. So you left $600 to spend. You don't, the first 2 weeks you spend finish. Then the next 2 weeks, how? No money, go and rob. Okay? So you must think a way to balance as the month go by. Then you have $600 to spend. One day, how much you spend, how many meal you want to take, etc., etc. Same as construction as well. So you have your whole Gantt chart. If you understand Gantt chart, the whole schedule, okay, you must plan in such a way that today activity, how much money you spend, how many manpower you have, what are the material you're going to use, right? So everything is concurrently run. So this is the way to help the company not go into minus, go into deficit cost. Then they have to borrow from the bank. Then money will pay the interest. Eventually, the company doesn't make money. Okay, take note of that. Oh. Okay, so here the constraint on the realization of the project cannot be rectified by good project management. Early stage of evaluation, very important. When you come out with the budget, you must evaluate. On many projects, initial price forecast is formulated by others, so the PM need to evaluate the reliability of the advice. Okay, so that means to say when you start the project, you don't have the actual experience, so you come up with the money, okay, the budget there, okay, you predict this is maybe 800,000 for the whole project, but you want to say no, I don't want to plan exactly 800,000. I want to plan 750,000 for the whole project. So you discuss with your engineer, your people, everything. Then you come up with the whole project. Say, okay, the cost is 750,000. Why not 800? Okay, you have to reserve for spare or another contingency plan. Just in case the project overrun, you have this 50,000 to cover the cost. Otherwise, your profit will go down. So you must carefully analyze this control of cost for a project, right? Okay, same. So the company must be able to do this. The PM must be able to identify cost limit, associated fee level, etc., etc., right? So very important thing is a project. Okay, you can't do one thing of all the thing together. Let's say a project as big as that sound, we say a building, a condominium, or rather a bungalow. Okay, so you have to break down the job into small pieces. Then you can clearly identify what is the cost of the project. For example, you want to lay the road with the so-called the bitumen floor, right? So you break down into what? Okay, you break down into they call it breakdown structure, WBS. So when you lay the floor, okay, on the floor, the granite, the sand, everything, then you compact it, then you put bitumen, right? So there are how many steps? You even out the earth level. Next step, you put in the concrete and sand. You level it, harden it. Okay. Third step is what? Bitumen. Okay. So that means to say in this road laying formulation, you have 3 steps. Right. So during the 3 steps, what are the things you need? Excavator, right? Excavator maybe take 3 days. You don't rent the excavator for 7 days. You know 3 days will finish. So you call the supplier, okay, can I rent the excavator for 3 days? I pay you 3 days. If you skip for 5 days, 7 days, after 3 days finish, the excavator and the excavator driver will stay there. They will charge you. Okay. So you know that to optimize the cost, 3 days they must go back. Okay. So your WBS, work breakdown structure, is very important for you to write carefully, clearly, what are the things you require for the job. So that every job, you have every WBS package. So as a project engineer, you take a look, oh, okay, I only rent the excavator 3 days. After 3 days, I must call 2 trucks of gravel and sand to lay down. I must get a compactor. Compactor will be 2 days, right? So all these things break down in your WBS. And when you take over the project, you take out this one and see, oh, this one. Okay, the schedule is like that. So you can arrange for the thing to come. So that means to say your cost is optimized. All right. Okay. You don't anyhow do things. Okay. Take note. So this information is important for the company to know the expenses of the day, of the week, and of the month. So they know how much they're going to spend. They can arrange. Let's say the company don't have much money. They arrange from the bank to take a loan from the bank. Then they can calculate how much they're going to pay the interest. Okay. All these things is very important for the company to be successful. Right. Next one is quality. Right. So quality, basically you depend on your technical specification written during the tender process. You just follow through. Right. You must understand the quality, how to do things and everything. So all these things will be given by the quantity surveyor. Okay, quantity surveyor will advise you this and that, and he will check with the architect, okay, the designer, okay, how much cement to put in, how much this and that, okay, you will know. All right. So you do the construction, you outside you witness the quantity of material to add on all these things. So finally, the quality met the standard. Okay. Sustainability, very difficult in a way that in today's Singapore, some of the tender project, they never consider sustainability costs. They expect the owner, or rather the contractor, to pay. Okay, sometimes it's very difficult. All right. So as a project manager, as a project engineer, as a project team, you must, one way to sustain is what? Make sure optimize the raw material, optimize the manpower, that means money spent lesser, optimize the power consumption, water consumption, all right, all these things. So this thing is good enough to consider yourself a sustainable construction company, good enough. When you talk about material substitution of another material, the cost may be higher. So in the contract doesn't state that you don't act smart to do, because once you do, your cost will be high. Okay. So APM box of knowledge, this is the project management book, said that sustainability is sensitivity to the project environment within and beyond client business, must consider the impact of political, ecological, economic, technological, regulatory, organization impact on the project, on the local and wider community within which they are located, right? So they say in this project management book, APM book, okay, APM book is a UK standard. So they say that you must be sensitive to whatever you do in the construction. Okay, be it government, be it private, be it material, be it waste management, be it technological application. All right. So take note of that. Okay. So all in all, in terms of sustainability, is up to the management company, up to your boss, whether want to go full stream to be sustainable or not. Whether the profit after involving in the sustainable development, your project cost will be high or not, right? All these things you have to consider carefully. End of the day, if you never do this, let's say the boss say, okay, I don't have enough budget to do this, forget it. Because the tender document doesn't stipulate the sustainability. So you must ensure that the tender document, if you prepare the project, you must understand the tender document requirement so that you can do whatever stated there. Don't act smart. Act smart, you lost money. In this world, it's like that. Okay? So there are various standards, okay, of this sustainability. Like Singapore is called the Green Mark, which is controlled by the Building Construction Authority. Okay, you have to pay money to get the Green Mark certified, and it's a very complicated process. Okay, you have to have an auditor to inspect your building after you completed the building, etc. Okay. So this one, unless the company decided to go into Green Mark, if not, then forget it. All right? Okay. This all sustainability is basically you follow the regulation. In Singapore, you go to BCA, you type the BCA, okay, URL, then you type Green Mark, you can see all the regulation there. Host list, okay. A few years ago, I write a paper on this for my master degree in facility management. Okay, I start comparing with US, UK, and Singapore standard. Okay, Singapore is quite tedious, a lot of work to do. Okay, then to get yourself certified a Green Mark auditor in Singapore, you spend a few $1,000s. But if you get the US standard, you fly to India to take the exam, less than $1,000. Okay, just to let you know, I do a research on all this. Okay, I don't want to talk this too much. Okay, come to planning and control function. All right. In any project, okay, any project, there must be a control. There must be a planning. There must be a management of the way to approach the project. Okay, basically here they say is management process approach, management science and decision support, and behavior approach for human resources development. Let's talk about management process approach. These three approaches complement one another in current practice and provide a useful groundwork for construction project management. So additionally, we can use or add CAD or TQM into contemporary management techniques that are available for construction project manager to utilize. Okay, there's software for you. Okay, you can buy it, like the so-called the building information, BIM. Okay, they have all the software. VDC, virtual design concept, also have. Okay, so this one, you want to use, you have to pay. You go for the cost, if I'm not wrong, it's $2,000 over. Okay, I never go. Okay, so management process approach. The process emphasizes the systematic study of management by identifying management function in an organization that examine each detail. What does it mean is you must have a project management organization structure. Okay, you have that structure, you set up that structure, you complement with a procedure, right? Your procedure written properly. Let's say I do purchasing. What is my role as a purchasing executive? Okay, first thing I report to purchasing manager. Second thing is I set up a invoicing system. That means to say I issue purchase order, I receive invoice when the goods are delivered, I inspect the quality assurance, will inspect the material coming, everything document is all properly done. This is the purchasing system. Right? This is where we call it systematic approach. Okay, just one area of purchasing. But you talk about another area, human, HRM, human resource management, okay, interview process, recruitment process, salary range, the job description, everything you have to do it in a proper system, right? So these are called systematic study of management, right? So there is a general agreement regarding the function of planning, organizing, and controlling. But you talk about planning, okay, when you talk about planning, you talk about manpower. Let's say, for example, manpower. How are you going to plan? Okay, now you have 10 people just working in a company. But you tender a job that costs, the project costs maybe 5 million. So 5 million, 10 people, these 10 people in your company only do administrative job. So you are the first company or brand new company, you have 10 people doing all the documentation, etc. So you don't have planning engineer, planning supervisor. Okay, so you start to form a planning department. A department headed by a planner or a planning manager, two project engineer that involved in the overall planning, right? So after you've done that, then you talk about organizing. So who will be the project manager who control the site? That is the organizing. So the next one will be controlling. Controlling is the cost, the time, etc. Right? So the major tenet is that by analyzing management along functional line, okay, a framework can be constructed into which all management activity can be replaced. That means the proper organization chart of that project. Example, project A. So you have project B, you set up the same thing or different against project A, right? So each project have its own project outcome. Okay, so you must really know what it's all about. Okay, so the manager is very important because he's the one who coordinate, collaborate all various departments. All right. So this is what we call it contemporary management technique. Modern day is all like that. Okay, contemporary is relating to modern. All right. Okay. So as I say here, all HR function, principle, each function extracted. Okay. All these things will be written in your job description. The organization structure. All right. This is talk about organization structure. Okay. So in terms of contribution to the project, of course, the manager need to have some QS people, quality assurance, to support the whole project, right? Of course, these are the things that you set up. Okay. So another one now we talk about is CPA. In construction, they like to use CPA, or another way they call it mathematical analysis model to solve complex problem of inventory, material, and production control. Most of the time we use critical path analysis, right? That's all. Very simple. And also statistical means, basic statistical means. Okay. So here they talk about very advanced Monte Carlo quadratic. Okay, so far in my experience, I never experienced that. All the engineers also don't bother. They said return back to the school, whatever they learn. Okay, so they only practice critical path, yes. Okay. Behavior science approach for human resource. So in today's world, humans are very sensitive, right? In today's Singapore, we are multiracial country. So as a HR people, how you manage different race of people, Indian, Bangladesh, Singapore, Chinese, China, Indian, China, Malaysian, Indian. There are so many races in Singapore. So the HR department going to have a headache. So how are you going to merge all these different racial into a group to work as a project team? This is where HR is very important. The manager must know about social psychology, how to motivate people, how to understand the personality, what are the leadership to apply. So all these things is written here and up to individual. If you, let's say you are a project manager, you deal with this type of people, you have to understand each and every one of the group, their personality, their leadership, and their behavior. Okay? Take note. Okay? So behavior science for human development. Okay? There are many types of human behavior, but we don't do testing. We just read from the book. Okay, there are many books on cultural identity. Okay, then organization behavior. There are many types of people behavior also appear in a human this organization behavior book. All right, there are many. So if you are HR manager, you have to look at it through it and how to identify the various critical elements that can merge the whole group together as a team to tackle the project rather than everyday quarrel within yourself. That should not be the way. Okay? Especially in Singapore. Okay? Total quality system. Okay, some common definition of quality are getting right the first time, etc. Being flexible and responsive. All these things is part and parcel of quality system. You must not, very rigid in quality system. You must able to allow certain flexibility, but as long as the specification doesn't go off spec, don't be so restrictive on the control of quality assurance. All right. Most company, they especially in the construction side, they are flexible a bit here and there. They know because they are the engineer, they know the quality standard. So you must know what is the standard that is acceptance for the common industry. Okay? Then you can accept that and you can continue with the work. Otherwise, it is so strict, so controlled, you're going to have a problem in managing the whole project. Okay? So quality control can be defined by checking, by the QS, by the quality assurance, okay, by checklist. Okay, when you consult certain section of the building finish, you invite the engineer or the architect come and check, okay, and sign off the checklist. All these things will be compiled, sent to the project manager. Okay. So this one I said again. All these things will be customer satisfaction, nothing else. Okay, TQM, total quality management philosophy, define the quality within an organization involving its management operative from all levels, right? Okay, to achieve the output. That means to say, if you talk about production floor, you talk about TQM, okay? A production technician will also do product equipment maintenance, will also do packaging. Packaging is not their job, they do production, but if they have time, they will do this. So in terms of TQM, the approach is everybody do something on the organization. Not only, hey, I'm a quality engineer, I do quality check only, other thing no do. No. Okay? TQM is a Japanese philosophy. So you must understand that TQM is good for the company is all the employee are willing to support it. If you are not willing to support, you cannot function properly. All right. Say now you ask me, I'm a quality assurance. I only take sample and check only. So you see me free, the production manager. Hey, you come and help in the production. I need your people here. You will tell them, no, I'm not employed as a production people. I'm employed as a quality person. I don't do. Then the whole TQM philosophy fail. Okay? So take note, TQM is a very high sounding word. Very good if everybody cooperate. If some of them don't cooperate, the system will just fail. Okay? Take note. Okay? I don't want to talk about this. Too many already. Okay? TQM benefit is real cost saving, greater consumer satisfaction, of course. Everybody work together, quality will be superb. Alright? Satisfaction because you and me share the workload and we understand each other better, motivated better. Of course, we are a happy group, right? Improve effectiveness and efficiency. Yes, all of us share the load, share the problem, and systematically and logically, we solve the problem together as a team. That's where total quality is important for an organization. Unless the HR can merge all together. If not, don't think about this. Okay? As you say here, fewer error, less rework, reduce claim, etc. Okay? So total quality system result in enhanced relationship between all agents. Okay, less adversarial, more open and free flow of information. Client will benefit by having a better project, lower cost, greater chances of early handover, less dispute, and increased opportunity for design improvement. Of course. That's why total quality, the first thing the total quality you do is to handle human behavior. This is very important. If the human behavior cannot manage properly, whatever system you have also don't function. Okay? When you talk about total quality. That's why behavior science is a subject now. Last time, no. Now it's a subject. We're talking about human psychology. We're talking about human psychiatry. We talk about human motivation. And talk about different cultural background. How you're going to merge together to come up with this quality system. You don't talk about engineering perspective here. But if the people, you cannot merge them together to work as a team, don't talk about management, engineering, all this. Don't waste time. Because each of us will not cooperate. So no point. Okay? Well, project control theory. Right. So one is the input phase, feasibility, and this. Okay, this one is talking about the planning stage. Okay. So you need to input, phase, and output. All right. So you talk about tendering job. Right. So at this stage, commitment to total quality and visit and data. So in an organization, if a new company or old company, you have a system in place already. So no need to worry about all this. All right. So when you get a project, you will initiate the training, the cost study, etc. Right? And you form up a team. You have a different organization structure. Okay, the people who are leading the project, etc. Okay. So we talk about execution, right? How to execute the project, bring the project to the site, what are the things to order, what are the things to set up everything, right? So you can see that preliminary design, that's a designer, engineer do the job. We don't touch on this. Tendering, that's where after getting all the information, the feasibility study, then you want to tender the job. Okay, you issue the initial tender document, right, to the tendering process, the software side in Singapore, GB, in Singapore, they call it government business website. Okay, you tender the job, all the term and condition you agree, then you keep your finger crossed whether you get the job. That's all. Okay, after you get the job, you input the team, form out the team, talk about the project timeline, the requirement, etc., establish a system, then do the design, and finally you create a system management for the project team. Okay, then procurement, you talk about procurement, raw material, etc. This is too much already. And you come to site, whatever you've done in your planning stage, the document and master schedule, work breakdown, sources, everything you bring down to your site and start doing the job. That's a construction site. Okay, and you do quality check and etc. Okay. From here, commissioning. After finish the job, you commissioning. Okay. Once you commission, any defect, liability, you have to do the job, rectify and everything okay. Then you hand over, get the licenses, okay, from the government agency. That's how I say TOP, CSC, right? Then will be done. Okay, then hand over, finish. Right, conclusion. Current theory, okay, TQM is quite so-called practice in Singapore, okay, but they never say TQM. You practice the same principle as ISO system. Okay, ISO system, we use a PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, and action. Okay, TQM is about the same. Okay. So whatever you plan, you do, you have to check what you do, whether it's effective or not. You chain already, then you check again. If okay, you update it in the document, and you confirm that the action rectified is correct. Then go back to plan again. Okay? PDCA cycle, they call it. Okay, now come to contract planning. So, are you okay? Are you okay? Hello? No
Okay,
sound.
sir.
Yes, proceed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, I will continue. I continue in half an hour, we stop. Project planning or contract planning, okay, are the essential project management skill. Planning is being described by Kessner, the function of selecting the enterprise objective, establishing the policy, procedure, program necessary for achieving them, by establishing a predetermined course of action within the forecasted environment. Okay, this is very clear, right? So first and foremost, when you do planning, you set up what you want to achieve. Okay. Say you achieve a profit of 10% of the project. Okay. So the function of selecting this objective. The next one is establish procedure and policy. That means to say, set up a system, a working procedure or system for you to achieve 10% profit. So this procedure will be developed jointly by the HR manager, project manager, procurement manager, quality manager. All this, each of the department will write a policy or procedure to let the people follow the procedure so that they can achieve the objective of the company, which is 10% profit margin for this project. Okay. Okay, contract planning in developing a construction plan is common to adopt primary emphasis on either cost control or program control. It's the same, right? So you must take note that contract planning, provided you get a contract, you don't get a contract, no point planning. All right. Okay. So once you get the contract, then you plan in terms of cost control, in terms of quality standard, or in terms of schedules control. Right. You take note of that. Okay. Most of the time of the project is cost, okay, and time. If these two can meet, the quality should not be a problem. Right. Take note. Okay, so you can see that cost-oriented, direct, indirect, okay, construction, direct cost, program-oriented, time, and also resource-oriented. Okay, these are the few elements that you can move around to establish a project control system. Okay. So here is repeat as just now we say, planning as a discipline effectively set the target. Okay, when you talk about planning, it's a target setting. And you compare, contrast, and adjust accordingly. The variance you can adjust accordingly as the project progresses. Okay. So in this example, next stage of planning is to work out the sequence of the work which is to be executed. Project, so-called logic evaluation, the process taking WBS packages which have already identified and showing the sequence in which they are carried out, right? So this is basically the critical path analysis. How you analyze, you put WBS A, WBS B. Can I do B first, or should I do A first then followed by B? So depend on your choice, depend on your whole setup of the system. Okay, this is where your project logic evaluation come to play about in your WBS packages. So time planning is a scheduling of every individual WBS packages that within this package, this hour you must finish. Okay, then your schedule will not delay. Okay, so you must take care of these two when you come to execution of work. Okay, so this one which I explained already, like this one, WBS talk about the way of making a tea. Quite easy. Okay, pour water in the kettle, wash cup, boil kettle. Inside the water, put tea in teapot, put boiling water in teapot, allow to brew, put milk in the cup, pour tea in the cup and drink. Right? This is the PLE. Right? That means your WBS consists of 8 parts. And this 8 parts, how many people are going to do? Let's say making cup of tea is only one person. Let's say this is a construction of a column. The whole building column. You need to have crane. You need to have lifting crane. You need to have a cement mixer. You need to have worker. All these things then will be divided into part by part, so that the WBS, the package is there. So when you take out this package, you know, this package is talk about building column. Okay, filling up cement, tying the rebar, the structure, steel structure, all these things. So they have specified all these things. Once you have this document, you know what to do. Okay. This is generally we call it critical path analysis. This one must finish this one. This one go to here and go to here. Okay. Whereas this one can go here and come to here, can bypass this step. Why? You just read it carefully, you will know. Okay. I will put up one question on this. You all go and try it out for the assessment practices, assignment practices. Okay. Time schedule. Okay. So there is a master schedule that you have to do. Right? The main project The project manager will lead the whole scheduling, and they come up with a schedule using Gantt chart or using Primavera or using Microsoft Project to do the scheduling. Okay. And these are the things that they provide. Manpower, level, all these things. I need to talk to you. Okay. Again, you see, there's so many things that you need to do. Scheduling, replanning, etc. Okay. So that's why in some company, they specifically require a planner, project planner. This guy only concentrate on the planning. He won't do other things. There's too many things for him to do. Right. So if you plan wrongly, the whole construction screw up. He will be in big shit. Right. So you require these people must have good experience in doing project planning. Otherwise, you cannot do. Okay? Take note. Okay? As you can see here. This is a schedule. This is they call it S-curve. Initial, very slow. When the project start very slow. The productivity is slow because people are catching up, learning the whole process. So as time go by, the activity pick up. More people are experienced. They can do things a bit faster until to the point here. You will pick up very fast until the project going to end. To become a saturated point. Saturated here where all the manpower being used. After use already, the activity come down, going down, and finish the whole project. All right. So you can see that the planning is very important. The planner will know what to do, when to stop, how to stop. Right. All these things will be highlighted to the project manager. He will plan the work accordingly based on the master schedule. Okay. Time planning, you can see all these things. I don't want to explain. This one you can read yourself. Okay. This one, activity. Chances of occurrence. Normal distribution should be that. Okay. Not this one. Skew toward left. It's not good. That means you have a planning, slowly go up, and until the peak here around 86%, like the whole project will be stabilized. Then slowly, when reach a peak already, the activity peak already, slowly you come down. Not like this one. This one is, the curve is not right. Okay. This is a standard deviation curve. Right. So this is again the CPA, CPM. Right. I leave you to read this one. Okay. I will come up one question on this. You're going to try it out. Right. Critical path. Right. Which I explained, tell you already. Any question?
Sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Let me have a drink first.
No, sir.
Got plenty students. Okay, critical path developed by the DuPont. Okay, it's a chemical plant. Okay, this one determine the time. Okay, the project planning stages, the duration. Right, as I said, it's a activity oriented. It's a duration when taken on the individual activity determine the date through the network. Okay, so they call it CPM or CPN. Critical path network or critical path method. Okay, critical path method assign duration to each activity, modular approach, benchmark technique, and matrix technique. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, you can see all this. Oh, EET and this one, I think you already true. I don't want to explain because this one need a whiteboard to explain. Very true. Okay, from here you can learn. Okay, I'll give you some example, give you some assignment, not example. Okay. So contract planning is part of the critical path method where you look at the schedule, you adjust the schedule, and end of the day, the schedule must be optimum to both the company and to the client. All right. No. Project evaluation and review technique is the same as critical path. Okay. But this one is a probabilistic approach to the project. It uses the estimation of duration reasonably accurate. All right. Okay, Pearl, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Oh. In project management, we never practice this, only in production process. Right? There's a standard formula here to calculate the deviation. How far away from your target point? Oh. Okay. So standard deviation, you have to learn to calculate. Right? Don't worry, I won't ask you all this. Okay, you just understand that in terms of contract planning, there is a standard deviation. How far away from the standard that you want? Oh. Okay. Network precedent diagram also. Okay. All these things in project management, in theoretical study, you have to practice. But in actual work, I do production before, I do construction before. We don't use this. We only use a critical path method only. One method is good enough to achieve the target. We don't do so many, very complicated, right? Okay, here you can see the activity, how you're going to draw out, okay? Oh, like here, you start 5 weeks, okay? After 5 weeks, you go to step 2. Oh, okay, step 2 after 10 weeks will be total 15 weeks. 15 weeks, then you go to step 3. Right? Sequentially, you run this way. Right? But the preceding, again, you start from 1 to 2 to 3. It can be done. Okay, you look at this away. Oh. It's very hard to explain unless you have a picture on the whiteboard. Project planning is an essential management skill. All right. So you must know about the time of the project, the quality, and whether you're allowed to have some significant change. So this one, as a project manager, you must look at the schedule, make sure everything is finished on time. If not, you have to replan the whole project. And these are normally called crash analysis. So when time comes, you say that your project delayed, then you want to apply this crash analysis. You look at the CPM, critical path method, or critical path diagram, and look at the master schedule. How are you going to slot in this extra feature inside the whole schedule? What is the manpower required? What is the money required to pay for the worker, pay for the raw material? These are called crash analysis, right? Okay, Gantt chart, I think you all know. Okay, most of us will be doing Gantt charts. Oh, that's all. Okay, and you can see this. This is very common using project management. Okay, but okay. So project phases, tenant and team. Phases will include decision to build, secure resources, etc. This one I already keep on repeating. Right? Okay, and the phases will be approve, check, control, and manage the whole project. Okay, the entire project is greatly influenced and directed by desire to achieve profit on financial investment. Okay, take note. Okay, same. Okay, design, process, and decision on how to build, implement, construction. Okay, there is a project phase. Okay, design stage. Right, this one is already repeated just now. Okay, show you the inception, feasibility, all this. Okay, we talk up to here. Design, proposal, approve, then you start design, then you come up with all this ending completion and feedback. Okay, construction will be the team in the construction field, design, client, team also, the quality system also, quality assurance people also. Okay, so nothing much here. All the team is same. The manpower, just like I said. Stakeholder, it can be the user. Stakeholder form a vital link. Stakeholder is who? End user, the client, okay, the owner of the project, okay, and the project team. Okay. All these things. For example, registered team, there are so many government side, fire service, control office, all these things, right? Architect, all this. I think this one you can read yourself. Nothing much. Oh. Okay. Okay, this the job of a production construction team. You can see so many things. Okay, please, you guys better go and read. Oh. Okay. This one, I leave it to you. Nothing spectacular. All repeat the same thing. Okay. One question will be on CPM. One question will be on the project team, cost control, quality control. That's all. Okay, 2 assignments. Tomorrow, after briefing the assignment 1, okay, you all want to know the result, and follow by I giving you the assignment tomorrow for unit 2. Then Wednesday, you stay at the classroom. Okay. Be present because they need to take picture of you and do your assignment. Can? Can?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Sure.
So, with that, do you have any question? Huh? Any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, if not, then
No, sir.
we shall stop. Okay. So, see you tomorrow. Okay.
Done, sir.
Gentlemen, see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.